All right, last video of the week, and you've got vacation next week. We're gonna put everything together today. Should be a nice, short, and easy day. So the idea is that we are now gonna be graphing these lines, and the good news is, when we graph it, we're gonna skip over this entire portion of our steps. So hopefully we've done this enough times now that we start to recognize all these little patterns and all the little shortcuts. So if I want to graph this equation right here, this is in what we call slope-intercept form, which looks like this, where we've got a slope in front of the x and a y-intercept hanging out on the end. So we're going to use those concepts to graph without the use of a table. So let's identify first the slope and the intercept. All right, here is that slope we talked about a lot yesterday. This is how the graph is going to move. So my slope is 1/3. My y-intercept is the number that's being added or subtracted on the end. So that's a -2. That's actually all the information I need to graph this. So the way we're going to look at it is we start with where it crosses the y-axis. So we start with B. Here is where it crosses the y-axis. So I know that's my first point. Now if I want to find another point, I'm just going to take the slope. It says that we're going to go up 1 and over 3. So I'm just going to go up 1 and over 3. You really only need 2 points to draw a line. In order to make it a little bit more accurate though, we could keep going. We could do up 1 over 3 again. Remember those similar triangles. I could go up 1 and over 3 again. Here's the weird thing. I could actually go down 1 and left 3. And now I can draw my line. So take a look at these characteristics. This thing is crossing at -2, and it has a slope of 1 over 3. That's all I had to do. So again, we started by identifying both the slope and the y-intercept. We didn't have to do a table, and we plotted first our y-intercept, and then we used our slope to find the next point. So some people wonder why B is for y-intercept and M is for slope. It doesn't seem to make sense, but then we came up with these other ways to remember it. B is where we begin on the graph, and M is how the graph moves. So we're going to use that, and we're going to do this again. So let's try the next problem. So if this is what I want to graph, and I don't feel like doing a table because it takes a lot of time, I'm just going to look for my slope and my intercept. When the y is by itself, the slope is right here in front of the x. So my slope is -4. And when I'm looking for my intercept, in this particular case, there's nothing added or subtracted onto the end, which means it's really just a 0. That is all the information I need to plot this line. So I'm going to begin at my y-intercept, and I'm going to use my slope to find the next point. Now a slope of -4, we can write that as a fraction. We just put it over 1. So this means I'm going to go down 4 because it's negative and right 1. I could do it again. I could go up 4 and left 1 too. Let me just draw it in. So looking at these characteristics, we've got a y-intercept of 0 and a slope of -4. So if you're confused about why I went up 4 and left 1, we've got this slope, -4 over 1. That's the same thing as +4 over -1. If this is confusing to you, it's okay, ignore it for now. We'll pick up on it another time. Okay, so now let's do another one. Notice I stopped even drawing the table for the next couple examples because we really don't even need it. So let's try our next problem. So in each of these equations, I'm going to be looking for my B value where I begin, and then my M value for how I move. All right, this one right here. I'm going to graph this line. So if this is the one I want to graph, let's find my B value, right? So this is where I'm going to begin on the graph. So let's begin at -5. And then we're going to find how we would move on the graph. So I have a slope of 2. So slope of 2 means I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. And I could keep going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1.
Yeah, that's your time to go back to work. Okay.
If I wanted to go the other direction, remember my slope of 2, I could write as 2 over 1. Positive 2 over positive 1 is the same thing as -2 over -1. So if I really wanted to, I could go down 2 and left 1. Down is negative, left is negative. Okay, let's draw out our line. Okay, and we'll notice in our line, we're crossing at -5, and we've got a slope of +2. Let's do the next one. Here is the line that I would like to graph. I need to find my value of B, which is where I begin on the graph. So B is +2 for this. So I'm going to go up to 2, make my first point. Then I'm going to go back and look for my slope. My slope is 3 over 5, which means I'm going to go up 3 and right 5. I could also go down 3 and left 5. So let's start with up 3 over 5. That is really all I need to draw an accurate line. But if you just don't trust your straight edge or your ability to make a perfectly straight line out of 2 points, I could do this too. I could go down 3 and left 5. All right, there's my line. It's crossing at +2, and it's got a slope of +3/5. We've got one more to do together. Last one, I have this equation that I'd like to graph. Let's identify the M and the B. I'm going to start with B because that's where we begin on the graph. Okay, so my B value is +3. My M, or my slope, is at -2. So that means that I'm going to go down 2 and right 1. That's really all I need to draw a line. So I could stop here and draw my line if I was in a rush. But if you wanted to check for accuracy, just remember -2 can be written as a fraction, -2 over 1. And this is the same thing as +2 over -1. So I could be going up 2 in the positive direction and left 1 in the negative direction to get the same thing. All right, you guys are on your own. So on the next page, these are the ones you guys are going to try by yourself. I need you to identify the slope and identify the intercept and do your best to graph it. If you guys want to use Desmos.com, you can to check your answers. So go ahead and hit pause, try these out, and then hit play when you're ready for the answers.